Hello everyone and welcome, and today we're gonna be talking a little bit about EUIC that's coming up this February in London. And we're gonna be talking a little bit about the decks that I think will be played a lot there and what I think, how I think they will do. So I'm gonna start by trying to figure out at least what I project it's gonna be in the top 6 graphic in London, the most popular decks, and I'm gonna hit it off with the Dragapult EX, the deck that gained a lot with Badoo from Prismatic Evolutions. I think it's already the most played deck on online tournaments, and I also think it's very consistent, it's super strong, and it's a very strong choice, and a lot of people probably think the same, so that's why I think that one's gonna be in the top 6 graphic for sure, and it's probably gonna see some pretty good results as well. So the second one that most people are also playing a lot lately, and most people are probably just like me considering taking that deck to London, it's the Gardevoir EX, another deck that is super versatile. It's super strong, and I think that a lot of people see that, and I'm sure that a lot of people will take that deck to the London EUIC as well. And once again, because this deck is super versatile, it might get very good results as well. However, the only thing that bothers me while playing Gardevoir is that it actually if you don't get this really good setup very early in the game, it might like block you out from making a play altogether. So yeah, we'll see about me taking Gardevoir, but I think a lot of people will. So yeah, another deck that I think it's very good. So for the third one that I also think it's gonna be in the top 6 graphic, and I'm sure it will do very well. Well, at least I think, not that I'm sure, is the Lugia. Lugia is a super strong deck that gained a lot with the Regigigas from Prismatic Evolutions, a card that can one-hit knockout basically anything in the meta. It can one-hit knockout Charizards, it can one-hit knockout Dragapults, it can one-hit knockout any Terra Pokemon in the game, and it's a single prizer, and it can be charged up using the Archeops that Lugia utilizes also well. And yeah, just because of that, I think Lugia is also gonna be a strong choice and a very popular choice, definitely in the top 6 graphic as well. Another top 6er, in my opinion, will be the Charizard EX. Always a very popular deck, always very strong, and always showing up with really good results. I see no reason that this tournament would be any different. I can't say much more than that. It's a strong choice, and I think a lot of people will take it with them. And the last one that I think it's gonna be on the graphic, maybe in the best of the rest, not necessarily in the top 6, it's gonna be the Archelodon. And yeah, it's a turbo deck, it's a bit different from the 4 decks that I've listed before, but I think just because of the really good results that the deck had in Osaka in Champions League over there in Japan, I think a lot of people might take this deck, but I'm not sure that it can do as well as the other few decks that I've mentioned before. Okay, so the next 2 decks that I would like to mention have a big question mark next to them, and which decks are those? Those are the Regidrago V-Star and the Raging Bolt. Why exactly those 2 decks? Because of the Badoo and because of everything that's changed with the Prismatic Evolutions and the meta changing, getting a bit slower and item locking you, I think those decks actually gained a lot of horrible matchups. The Raging Bolt cannot utilize their Earthen Vessels, Tracking Shoes, their Prime Catchers, anything, and if they get item locked by Badoo, and that's a very big problem for the deck. And just because Raging Bolt is super fast, and if you can slow it down, it doesn't get to be super fast anymore, and that is the main thing about Raging Bolt, being really fast and really aggressive. And if you take that early aggression away, I don't think it has such a great matchup into anything anymore. And the Regidrago V-Star, it's a super item reliant deck, and with Badu in the format, the super item reliant decks that can't play items is not a very good deck choice anymore. I'm sure a lot of people will still bring either of those decks with them, but I think with the change of format that we've just had, it's not such an optimal choice anymore, just because of 130 HP Pokemon that came out. So yeah, those are the decks that we'll see play, but I don't think they will get good results. So I'm gonna be talking now about some of the more unpopular decks that can still do very good, like the Underdogs, or just straight up unpopular decks overall. And with these straight up unpopular decks, I'm gonna be talking about Control. Why? Because Control needs a very developed meta, which was right now in the Surging Sparks format. Because if you know the meta, how it's developed and how it works, you can work your way with Control extremely well. However, it's gonna be a bit different here because it's an underdeveloped format. It will be only one regionals or two regionals maybe before London with the Prismatic Evolutions format. That's why the meta will not be as developed, and Control players could have seen some surprises from the other decks, and that could take catch them off guard a bit, and that's why I think that's not gonna be the best call, and I don't think it's gonna be played a lot. Another one that I don't think it's gonna be played a lot, but it could be, it's a really good deck, I think, is the Chien-Pao EX. A weird choice. It hasn't seen much play in the Surging Sparks format, like, at all. There were very few Chien-Paos. However, Chien-Pao can also abuse the Regigigas, just like Lugia, and it has the super aggressive, super strong Chien-Pao, of course, and of course the Iron Hands being able to take multiple prizes. I think it's a deck that can actually do very good. However, I don't think it will see as much play in regards to how much potential this deck actually has in this format. And another one that I think is a weird but maybe a good option, but it's not gonna see a lot of play obviously, is the Lost Zone. With the Regidrago on the down, Lost Zones can sort of reappear just because Kyurem isn't around anymore as much, and the threat of board wiping yourself being board wiped by Kyurem is so much smaller that I think the Lost Boxes can actually be very good, both Lost Box Giratina or just the small Lost Boxes as well. And now, saving the most for last, the honorable mentions, the Palkia Terapagos that did really well those past few tournaments. I don't think it would have much results in London. And another one, the Ancient Box. While still a very solid deck, I don't think it will have much of a result in London. I think some people will play it, but I don't expect much results to come from either of those decks. So, thank you so much for watching, you guys, and catch you next time.